right, Brian, thank you so much for all those updates on that story. Shifting focus now, the prices of gold and silver are on the rise on fresh buying by stockists and jewelers. In Mumbai, the price of 24-carat gold stood at rupees 1,23,290 per 10 grams, while 22-carat gold was available at rupees 1,13,010 per 10 grams. Silver stood at rupees 1,50,900 per kg. Now, analysts are saying that gold advanced buoyed by depreciation in the rupee. The rupee saw intraday trade losses to settle flat at 88.69 against the US dollar on Friday, as weak domestic equities and a firm greenback in overseas markets offset the support from lower crude oil prices. Now, let's take a look at how gold prices compare with today, and we'll compare them to the prices of yesterday, last week, last month and last year. Now, remember viewers that why gold we are tracking is because it's always been a very safe haven investment since time immemorial, and that's what people like to do when they like to invest in money. So, when we are looking at gold prices per gram today versus yesterday, today's price stood at 12,300 rupees for 24 carat, while yesterday it was at 12,328. 22 carat gold stood today at 11,275 rupees. However, yesterday it stood at 11,300 rupees. 18 carat gold stood at 9,225 today, while yesterday it was at 9,246. So, we are seeing a slight dip in the numbers versus yesterday. Now, if we compare it to last week, which was October the 25th, we will see that today it's at 12,300, but last week it was at 12,562. Now, remember, before last week there was also the Diwali and Dhanteras season, so that had seen an increase in the prices of gold. So, with regards to that, now we are seeing that gold is finally settling down to its original price. So, 22 carat gold actually stood at 11,515 rupees last week. This week it's at 11,275. 18 carat gold stood at 9,422 last week, and today it's at 9,225 rupees. So, that small interchange in that prices of gold, the gold is now stabilizing itself. When we compare it to last month, however, we will see that a small increase, that trend that gold has been following throughout the year. So, when we look at today's prices, which is at 12,300, 24 carat gold last month was only 11,924 rupees. 22 carat gold last month was at 10,930 rupees, and this today it is at 11,275. 18 carat gold stood at 8,940 last month, and today it's at 9,225 rupees. So, we are seeing that steady increase in prices of gold when we compare it to a larger time frame. And if we look at last year, so this is an even greater graph that we are looking at, we will see that the increase is quite significant. So, 1st November 2025, today gold stands 24 carat at 12,300 rupees, while 1st November 2024, gold 24 carat gold stood at 8,056 rupees only per gram. Now, when we look at 22 carat gold, today it's at 11,275, while last year it was only 7,385 rupees. 18 carat gold, while today it's at 9,225, last year it was only 6,042 rupees. So, clearly you can see that these are great differences and significant increase in gold prices when we compare it to a larger time frame. Joining me on the broadcast is senior economist Sharat Kohli. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Appreciate your time. Dr. Kohli, I want to ask you now, gold is influenced by global and internal factors as well. However, we are now seeing kind of settling down into the pace. We saw a high rise during the Diwali Dhanteras period. Now it's settling down in its course and we are seeing stable prices.
Good morning, Shivani. Good morning to the viewers of NewsX. Indeed, we call this as consolidation. After the huge run to $4,381, well, for the benefit of NewsX viewers, I speak in dollars because that's where the price originates from, at the New York Comic. So we track in dollars, and of course here, as you've given a detailed analysis for different carriage as well, we only track the original gold, which emanates from the place where it does. So from the peak of 4,381, it has went down to close to $3,900. And now it has recovered to $4,000. You rightly said, this is now consolidating, settling down. I think it's a very healthy consolidation. Even the correction was very healthy. For the people who are wondering if it's fallen down, it's not fallen down. It's just that the speculative element in gold has now evaporated. And it's now at its solid price. We call this as a solid price. That is, hard gold is being traded and contracts are also being traded at this price. Well, there's always a speculative element in gold which is lessened and which is good for this precious metal. Well, various factors contributing. I think a mixed kind of a trade deal between US and China. Some give and take, partly successful, I would say. A quick fix kind of a solution. Not a lasting trade deal, otherwise gold would have fallen down more. But that has not happened. Geopolitical tensions still remain. So some factors, Shivani, in favor of price rise, some factors against favor of price rise. But as we speak today, there are more factors which are in favor of price rise. I'm sorry. So therefore, the bull run, I feel, will continue. However, you have to be there in the long run. Do not expect some magic in the short run, unless, of course, something happens geopolitically or something else comes out of President Donald Trump's hat. I really don't think there's going to be any sharp movement in the immediate future. But people can stay invested. People who are looking for an opportunity to buy, this is a good opportunity because it has come down about 8 to 10% from its peak. So you can easily invest in smaller lots and stay there for long term, Shivani.
Absolutely. Dr. Kohli, I also want to understand, this is purely speculative though, but there are some people who are stating that gold might see a significant decline if, trade relations between the US and China go ahead, and we might see it even declining below the 1 lakh number. Do you see that happening? Because it's purely speculative.
See, all sorts of speculations are being made, especially if you go on social media. You will see all sorts of weird, strange, funny, and absolutely unforeseen kinds of predictions being made both ways. And there is a lobby which is saying gold will go up to 2 lakh rupees. So both are speculation. We should not forget that gold and silver prices are dependent on demand and supply internationally, and also as to how it performs on the commodity exchanges. And these trading and investment happens on the basis of news flow. The news flow, as we've been talking about on your channel for a number of days now, the news flow means how's the geopolitical situation evolving, how's the geo-economic situation evolving. So I think it's very hard to make a prediction, first of all. I don't know the people who make prediction that it's going to fall down to 1 lakh or it's going to rise up to 2 lakh. Well, both can be true, but the chances of a very deep correction, if you ask me personally, Shivani, the chances of a very deep correction are very, very minimal because gold is in very limited supply. 215,000 tons of gold has been mined so far. It is said that about 50,000 to 1 lakh tons of gold still remains to be mined. So it is a limited supply. It is a safe haven investment. Central banks have been buying. Over the last 2-3 months, 220 tons of gold has been bought by central banks around the world, including some small countries. So the chances of a deep correction seem minimal, but chances of an uprise in the times to come is definitely there. What level and how much time will depend on the news flow, as I mentioned a while ago.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Kohli, for all those insights into gold. We're shifting focus now. Delhi's air quality index on November the 1st remains in the poor category for the second consecutive day, with a reading of 233, according to the Central Pollution Control Board.